What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week, Justin Davis, Brandon Tyrell,
howdy,
Jared Petty.
Star Wars trading cards.
We were just talking about that. This one, addicted.
Crazy into the
Justin,
Star Wars cards.
super addicted.
Just the best.
Great show for this week. We're going to talk about Hitman. We're going to talk about Project Spark, if you guys remember that one. But first, we begin with Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
I can't wait to play that campaign on my PS3 and or Xbox 360.
Well, Justin, I have some sad news for you.
Oh my goodness gracious.
The last-gen version will not include the campaign. It will just be a multiplayer experience.
Can't even.
And they are cutting $10 off the price, so it'll be a $50 game. My favorite comment on IGN was that an observation that a Call of Duty campaign costs $10.
That's actually the price. The $50 thing is the detail about this I hadn't heard.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I mean the whole thing's
So
interesting.
this is the year to buy a new console. You've got games out now that justify the purchase. You know, you can run out and grab wonderful things like the superior version of Metal Gear 5 or Bloodborne or 100 other wonderful things that are rolling out this Christmas. Halo 5's coming, etc. So I'm okay with this, actually. I mean, I don't feel like it's too crappy a thing to do. It's time to leave old technology behind, and the new consoles are exponentially more powerful than the old ones. I think that we've reached that sweet spot finally where we're just going to have to let the past die and move on to the next.
Yeah. What about that price, though?
It's interesting. I mean, that's kind of cool.
You think it's cool? You don't? I think it seems too much.
I think 40 would be better received.
Well, I mean, less is always better received.
Yeah, but in terms of hours spent, people are going to spend 6 hours in the single player and 600 hours in the multiplayer.
That's true.
And it's like, well.
Yeah, so we know that in time spent, probably 1% of all time spent in Call of Duty is in the campaign. 99% in multiplayer. What I wonder is, do you think this is Activision testing the waters for a multiplayer-only Call of Duty?
So that's what I was going to say.
That was my first thought as well. Like, this is the smallest install base that you can really reach with a Call of Duty game, right? Like last-gen consoles. So it really makes sense.
Well, there's more of them.
Should be a huge install
but not as many people buying the game.
As far as people buying the game for that version, right? There will be more people.
I wonder when that inflection point was, or if this year would have been that year anyway. Like, I actually don't know. I'd be curious to see stats on this at all. Like, how did the Xbox One and PS4 versions sell in 2014 compared to the last gen versions?
Yeah, because
this is now the second Call of Duty?
No one knows.
What do you mean?
since the new console?
No, it's the third, because there was Ghosts.
Advanced Warfare.
And now Black Ops 3.
So this is the third.
So I absolutely think, I don't know that this is why they're doing it. Like, there's some boardroom back dealing where they're like, yes, let's test a campaign-free version on the last-gen consoles. I think it just all dovetailed nicely. They said, look, we're making this ambitious campaign.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge pain in the butt for us to get this to retroactively fit on the last-gen consoles. We don't want to do it. It's going to be hard for us. It's going to limit our vision. And then someone said, well, okay, like if we didn't do it, then that also lets us test, does this affect sales? Do the PS3 and 360 players really care? Does it make them really mad? So it's sort of like I suspect that's why this decision was able to be pushed through, because it lets them sort of test the waters and then make the campaign that they want to make.
Yeah, that was my feeling as well. Like, I think that the hardcore COD demographic, the people that buy it every year over year, they're gonna buy new consoles, right? They probably already have them now, 2 years removed. So I agree with you. I don't think it was like a decision, last year to make last-gen versions. I think it probably all just came together really nicely, and now this is a good point for them to realize, I mean, do we do two versions? Do we do a version without a campaign?
I think about all the way to the mid to late 90s when Quake 3 Arena decided to effectively drop the classic single-player campaign component. And it turned out to be a really good thing for that particular game because it could just laser focus on the multiplayer and create something really special there. It makes sense for this series. I'm honestly surprised it hasn't happened already.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, games like Titanfall and Evolve have tried that and have failed.
Failed.
Well, sort of.
They didn't. I mean,
sure, air quotes failed, but I mean, they didn't live up to expectations.
But they were new franchises too, whereupon this has a pretty well-established idea that you're going to spend most of your time in the multiplayer.
But I want to say you are right that we keep seeing more and more multiplayer-only releases. Even Rainbow Six this year is a multiplayer-only game.
And we talked on a Game Scoop several scoops ago, several scoops back, many scoops ago.
Four scoops. You got it.
Ago.
Exactly. Just about that topic it seems to be something that really works in the PC realm that I don't know that there are very many examples at all in the console space of a multiplayer only or multiplayer focused game.
We also forgot about Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, truly taking off.
Maybe Battlefront will be the one.
Yeah, I kind of think it has the best shot, in my opinion.
I'm really trying to think of like a multiplayer only shooter.
I want them to bring back the Shadowrun shooter.
Oh yeah, that was great.
I don't think that was it great?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I think at the time, I don't think that was.
No, it was great. It was maligned because
the
it
time,
had the
that was-
Shadowrun name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really wasn't that much content at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Gotham City Imposters, or look at like these dumb like
Calling all cars.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is like booting up these tiny little budget games that are multiplayer only and just wrecking for a week, like getting really good at the game and like having a good time, and then just setting it down and never coming back. You know?
Yeah. Well, coming from the PC world, it's kind of like, yeah, what's the big deal? Multiplayer only games are a dime a
Counter-Strike,
dozen. Yeah,
TF2.
they're something that have been around for so long. And
Yeah.
Again, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened sooner in consoles.
All right, moving on. Last week we talked about Hitman being delayed from this December to March of next year. Now we have the release date and we have details on the rollout plan for content. Because we know that you're buying this game and then you're going to be getting more and more of it over time. You don't get it all at once.
Okay.
So, Justin, you were saying you hadn't read about this. You're gonna learn this in real time.
Watch my face.
It's gonna look kind of like that.
So it's out March 11th. At launch, there'll be 6 campaign missions
That's a small number.
across 3 locations: Paris,
Okay.
Spienza, and Marrakesh.
What's Spienza?
I am guessing Italy, but I'm a dumb American.
That sounds. I'm good with Italy. Let's go with Italy.
You get a contracts mode with around 800 targets.
Oh, that's cool.
And then live content will begin rolling out with time-limited targets, weekly contracts, and promoted created content. I don't know, I guess created content is, there's going to be some sort of like scenario designer.
Yeah, and then they'll curate that and
Maybe
pick
a
the best
level-
of the best and have those bubble up to the top.
And that's what you get at launch. After March, 1 new sandbox location will be released a month.
Oh, wow. That's actually a lot and kind of fast.
So first you get Thailand.
I bet you I'll bet a pizza dinner right now that they immediately fall behind that schedule. Okay. And don't keep to that pace. Because the sandbox
Pizza dinner.
Well, I was going to say steak dinner, and then I was going to say pizza, and then it came out as pizza dinner.
Pizza dinner sounds lovely. Is
Pizza
that knife and fork pizza? If
Yeah.
it's pizza dinner?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, that sounds very ambitious.
Those new sandbox locations will be Thailand, United States, and Japan. Now, get this, Justin. All of that costs you $60, the regular price for a video game.
Okay.
But you pay your $60 and then you
Right.
keep getting this stuff after the time. Or for $35, you get just the release content.
Oh.
And then you buy.
Do you have the
pieces.
option?
And then, you could buy
you
the other
have
stuff
to,
too if
yeah.
you wanted to.
Well, but I wonder if that other stuff will cost more. Like if that other stuff costs
I think it works out, ends up costing you more than $60.
because otherwise there would be literally no reason for anyone to ever buy the $60 now. You could just spend $35 and $25. So yeah, it probably costs more. Yeah, as I say on GameScoop all the time, the devil's in the details. So we'll see. We'll see whether people blow through that content in one evening, or how long it lasts, or whether that contracts mode feels cool or feels crappy. But tentatively, I'm going to say I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
If it's 6 hours
I'm
long.
okay with it.
Yeah, it depends on what.
Justin,
I'm with
feel
Justin. The devil's in the details. If it's Portal was what 5-6 hours. If it's that good, sure, I'll be thrilled. It's 5 of the 6 best hours of my life I've ever spent playing a game. So,
But it's
if
really-
this is amazing,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm great with it. But if it's just another kind of video game and it's short, yeah, I'm going to be very disappointed.
It's kind of a video game.
Here's the thing: a real smart guy that I know named Justin Davis says that the devils are in the details.
Just the one devil.
Just the no.
The devil is
No Azazel,
the devils-
no Azrael.
The devils are in the details.
Apostrophe S.
Devils
That's
in
the
the
key.
details.
No
Yeah.
pseudepigraphic devils or demons or anything like that.
All right,
That's a lot of
Dave.
big
All right,
words.
college boy.
We get it. You went to college.
Why does that keep happening?
Because you just quoted T.S. Eliot like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
I agree. I think that the devil is in the details as far as Portal was a great game. It's short. It's fine. Short games can be fine. I don't know if this was designed to be what it is now. It feels like this is something that was in production and, maybe not 100% finished, so they're
It is
testing
It's an odd choice, like we talked about last week. The developers haven't communicated why this model is good for us?
That's really the point of like whether this is cool or not cool or works or doesn't work. You brought that question up the last time of like they haven't answered why.
Yeah.
Like it could totally be cool and work, but that still doesn't necessarily mean that there was a great reason.
Why is it better than just paying for a game and getting all of it?
Exactly. Exactly. Like, why do this versus the traditional sense that people are used to? And I mean, Hitman is a name. People want that name.
I do think. I mean,
part of me thinks that they got to release, right? Like, this doesn't feel like a planned. Is the entire Hitman story of what they're working on right now going to be contained within those six? Like, is that going to be a good point to ship it at, or do you think? These are just what was done by the time we're ready to ship.
Let's say, just hypothetically, if Metal Gear Solid 5 released with 25 side ops instead of, is there 200 and something?
There's over 150.
Like what if, and like that's actually a fairly reasonable comparison because it's an open sandbox.
I was going to bring this up actually.
That they just sort of plop you into and you revisit the same locations repeatedly, but things are just kind of remixed in minor ways. If that launched with 25 and they added 20 per week for however many more weeks that would be to get up to the total they have now, like I don't think that would affect my enjoyment of the game one iota. I think it'd be just as fun, just as cool.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up too. So I like Hitman. I like Hitman's gameplay loop.
Yeah,
right? You have an objective, you're dropped into an area, just complete your objective however you can. I like doing that. I could do that over and over again. So the idea of a persistent Hitman service, I like. But like you say, Metal Gear is like already doing that. It's like that exact same thing, and it's all on the discs.
But it's exactly. It's not doing that though because they did just give it all to you.
I'm saying it has that gameplay that I like. I just get one thing, and I'll just do that forever.
But that's why the reason why I think I'm on board with Hitman is I don't think I would care if that stuff was dripped out for Metal Gear over time. I don't think it would bother me personally.
I think it depends on what the reduction of scope ends up being. I mean, even Metal Gear, we are pretty sure now that there were parts cut from that game that we may never see.
No, but parts are cut from every game.
Exactly. The difference is Konami actually let us see some of that inadvertently or otherwise. We have a better idea about that than we usually do. And that makes you go, oh man, what was the perceived scale? And that's what, like you said earlier, what's the reason for this? What's the value proposition? I feel suspicious about it. I love that they're including a content creator and apparently what looks like it's going to be maybe a proctored system of having the good stuff rise up. That's always a good idea to have in those. That's really cool, but I don't see how this helps me, and it seems a little thin, but if it's great, I'll probably grab it anyway.
I really believe that this is going to hinge on how that contracts system feels. If 800 contracts at launch sounds like you'll probably be able to assassinate every single person in this sandbox, or almost every person, and then it's like, your contract is on this person, figure it out, and like, some of those are probably going to be really interesting, right? Like they'll be in interesting places or have an interesting loop that AI follows, and you can go to. And the sandboxes are supposedly very, very large, so it's like go to one end and pick up one item that lets you do interesting things, and some other building in the other end of the sandbox. Like that could be cool. Like just slowly working your way through those contracts, and then a new sandbox comes out. I don't know. I think it's cool. I mean, I'm tentatively on board.
If a Hitman mission required you to assassinate a dog, could you do it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Really? I don't think I could.
In a video game?
Yeah, I don't have any problem killing people in video games, but dogs, I don't know if I can do.
No, video game dogs are the worst.
They're like a dime a dozen.
What about Rush?
Except for,
what about Fable?
Rush is a robot.
He's a dog. He's a robot dog.
He's a robot.
what about D-Dog?
D-Dog. Killing D-Dog would be wrong for Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Killing D-Dog would be wrong. He's got an eye patch.
All right, well, Hitman's launch plan is definitely unique. I think it's one of those things we're just going to have to wait and until we can look at it with hindsight.
Don't envy whoever ends up reviewing that.
Yeah, really hard.
Yeah, I was thinking how is that going to work?
I don't know. Probably not very well.
No.
Moving on, were you guys surprised to hear that after a year after launch, Microsoft is basically giving up on Project Spark, handing the keys over to the community and being like, this is your guys' thing now, you guys do it, you guys take care of it?
No.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either. My awareness of Project Spark, and I like game design tools, but my awareness of this, I think the messaging was pretty terrible. Yeah. It was vague. It was kind of swept under the rug a lot of the time. They never really seemed to let us know why this particular tool set was something people should run out and buy, or not buy, but utilize, and also the microtransaction model, frankly, it left a bad taste in.
Yeah. So
it was.
In case anyone wasn't following, this was a free-to-play game that launched last October, And there was like premium content that you could buy, and then there was also a retail disc version that included a lot of that premium content.
A lot of it, like But.
And then there were premium games made with Project Spark, like Conker's Big Reunion, bringing Conker back. And that was supposed to be the first episode in an episodic series, but none of the other episodes came out. And now Microsoft says they're not making any more premium content.
And now they're just giving everything away.
Now everything's just unlocked.
Which is, and suddenly I'm excited.
Yeah, so they're not like shutting it down, but they're being like, we're not making
They're not trying to monetize.
And they're going to hope the community makes more stuff, and they probably will. Communities, the people that rise to the top in communities like this are the ones who tend to be best with it anyway. They'll probably make amazing tools, and I'm much more likely to give this a second look now. You want to turn off my interest, flip a switch that says premium.
You know what they should do? And I want to clarify that I've given this zero thought. This is just something that popped into my head, and from my head out my mouth it comes.
Yep.
They should let people charge for the content they make in the game. Like, what if Mario Maker levels be like, yo, you add $5 to your account, and then this level costs 10 cents.
Sort of like how Valve works it with Dota and TF, like hats. You can make your own hat.
What if Project Spark, someone wants to make some big, elaborate third-person, exploration play? They want to make the next Banjo-Kazooie. Let's charge people $5 for it.
Or how about they keep it all free and just charge me $60 for a disc, and then I don't ever have to pay any more money again?
Or that.
Yeah.
But then, okay, I'll tell you why. Or that is because you're going to get, again, if economics work the way that it's supposed to, is you're going to get higher quality, better content.
It's possible. Yeah,
if people are incentivized.
I don't despise the system, particularly when it comes for some reason, and maybe it's because I'm a giant hypocrite. When it's users creating the content they charge for, I'm suddenly not nearly as upset about it. But I think that when a developer's releasing something like, well, here's the game, and then here's the real game, and here's the threshold of cost between the two, that really bothers me. I have been Super Mario Maker is my favorite thing in a long time.
Yeah. What
and a lot of
if
it's 'cause it gave
someone
me so
could
much.
sell, they crafted an entire Mario game, 8.1.1 through 8.4, however many levels that is, just you get this pack of 40 really handcrafted Mario Maker levels that have reviews. People say that they really like it, and it's like, and then you pay the guy $3 for it.
I would not be immediately resistant to that idea. I would at least look at that. Yeah. But they'd have to be. The thing is, I'd need a way of knowing it was proctored and wonderful, and
And
need
so
somebody to tell me why I should play it.
Like, just to close the loop on this, where this is all coming from is in that lets Microsoft give away Project Spark for free, but still make a little bit of money off the back of it by earning a little bit of money on.
I think it's fun. I mean, I think putting out a free-to-play game like this, especially when it's tools, the onus is sort of on the community to create the content for everyone. And
they're not motivated to.
Yeah, they're not motivated to do it. And I think with Project Spark's big problem wasn't that it was premium. It's just that no one really cared about Project Spark.
But I'm not sure the communities aren't completely motivated. I mean, there's still a lot of. I look at something like Game Maker's community, for example, and people do just create all kinds of wonderful free assets for those, and you can run out to this day and grab them and insert them into your games and use them. They're under different licenses, but they're very generous.
There are hundreds and hundreds of incredible Mario Maker levels and in other Game Maker tools on the PC that are completely free and just given away. The freeware game scene is alive and well. But the presumption is that if you give people the ability to make a little bit of money, that there will be a higher, larger breadth and higher quality of.
I like money. Yeah.
So the biggest video game in the world is a game where you just build stuff, right? Minecraft. Mario Maker has obviously been a big phenomenon, but that has the Mario license. So I just wonder, what was it about Project Spark that didn't catch on? Because in the year that it's been launched, the only time I heard about it was when they announced Conker was coming to it. Other than that, I never hear anybody talking about Project Spark.
A Linkin Park music video made with it or something.
I think Conker might have been the moment that destroyed it.
I think you're right. I think the messaging was just. I mean, I remember the reveal, and it was like they were showing off the gameplay demo, and it was like real time. They were creating all these goblins that were rushing, and the fire was coming down from the sky, and they were like terra sculpting this area. It was really, really interesting, and that's just sort of not really what that game was. Like, it's not a game; it's a set of tools that you can use to make games.
I'll check it out now that it's free. I mean, I'll download it.
I did. I spent probably a good 8-10 hours on it one weekend, and. I made some cool stuff, but the majority of it was just very, very base level. You really have to get invested.
I think part of the
Go ahead.
I think part of the problem with Project Spark, and having not used it myself, but just seeing YouTube videos and some other critiques from other people, was that to really get the most out of it and to make something that was really high quality and interesting required programming, like lots of if-then statements and how to get the things to move and behave the way that you want is maybe a little bit more complex and complicated than than people were prepared to sort of figure out.
It was more akin to PC tools in that regard, but I remember being intrigued by it originally. I mean, to the point that I thought about buying an Xbox to play with Project Spark, but they just did not surface it well. I work in the games industry, and I worked in it at the period that this game was supposed to be being put in front of us, and I barely ever saw it pop up anywhere. I'm going to blame Microsoft for this one.
All right, let's check in with the listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Listeners, remember you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ngn.com, just like Dennis in Montreal did. Hey,
What's up, Dennis?
Dennison.
He says, hey, GameScoop, love the show. I was just wondering if there are any games from the previous console generation where you think a sequel might really benefit from the increased or new capabilities of this generation of consoles. I'm referring to something more than a simple graphics upgrade, but something that could improve the game itself. One that comes to mind for me is From Dust by Ubisoft.
Oh, yeah.
Though the game wasn't perfect, I really enjoyed its terraforming gameplay, and I feel like the more powerful consoles could allow it to try bigger, more exciting things and have more dynamic worlds. Yeah, From Dust was a cool game.
Yeah,
it was a cool game, and it would benefit from more powerful technology. Would really help that game. Yeah,
So I think that's a really good example.
Well, I have an answer, Damon.
What is it, Justin?
It's from 2 generations back, but I desperately think we need a Phantom Dust sequel. And I'm going to track down the person responsible for canceling the Phantom Dust reboot, and I'm going to kill them.
Wow. You heard it here first.
And
that's the sole reason that I work in the video game industry. That's your whole plan, is to find out who is responsible. No, but I mean,
this is Justin's memento moment.
You know that McCafferty's going to have that person in here like 3 weeks from now, and they're going to walk by your desk.
Yeah. Was it 2 E3s ago that they announced the remake of Phantom Dust?
Yeah, 2 or 3. I mean, I always
the years will
blur together to me.
Then they canceled it.
And they canceled it. Supposedly it's coming back, but I don't believe it. No, but I mean, that game would almost certainly be free to play and have a business model similar.
It's a card battle game.
Yeah,
right?
it's a game. It's a third-person action battler where you have a deck of cards, and that deck of cards determines what your abilities are. Like, so you're running around these 3D environments, fighting other people, casting spells and stuff based on the cards that you choose to put in your deck.
Okay.
It was super, super rad, super unique. So happy that someone, saw its brilliance, decided to bring it back. And the reason it would work in 2015 is because people are so much more receptive to things like Hearthstone and collecting aspects and
Star Wars trading cards.
Star Wars trading cards.
Would you like to tell the audience more about it?
No, I'm all right. We don't have time.
No, we don't. We do not at all.
So that's why it's less about sort of the capabilities of the console, although the always online nature of these consoles helps. But and it's more to do with just sort of accepted business practices that I think Phantom Dust would have really, really gone over swimmingly this time around.
That's a great answer.
Brandon, how about you? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Yes. I have one, but I was just thinking off the top of my head, like, we're going to get it. Like, I think Halo Wars last gen was amazing.
Yeah, we are.
And
yeah.
I think any sort of tactical or strategy game, which you don't get too many on consoles, but I think anything like that can benefit from more horsepower. But in that same vein, a game, and I think it was 2 generations ago, actually, it was the original Xbox, a series called Kingdom Under Fire. I think like Dynasty Warriors, but like set in a fantasy realm, like Lord of the Rings kind of thing. And you had your character that you just waded through just droves of enemies and just like, it's like Sauron in the beginning of the Fellowship of the Ring where he hits something and everything just goes flying off screen. Like, it's literally that experience. It was a great game, and you got to control your armies. You got to wade through and just wreak havoc. And I mean, obviously, more horsepower, more effects, more things on screen, more tactical strategy, stuff like that. I would love to see it. Supposedly they were making it, I think it was Fantagram. Supposedly they were making a third one. It was going to come out for PS3 and be sort of this MMO model. And I think it just never surfaced. Supposedly it's still in development, but
Vaporware.
Yeah, I love that idea of using the processing power, not necessarily to make things prettier, but just to make more of them. That's what Earth Defense Force games live and die on. I love them for that. But for me, that one's something that would benefit from the graphical capability and the processing power. Red Dead. I want Red Dead Redemption 2 on a next-gen console. I like to think about that game was kind of a marvel when it was released. Just like, wow, I didn't know you could do that with an Xbox. And then to come into the next generation and think how they could push that on next-generation hardware. Those beautiful vistas and all the things there were to do in that huge world.
And horse physics.
Yeah, surely we'll get another Red Dead game at some point. Right? Although Red Dead Redemption was technically Red Dead Revolver 2, right?
Yeah. It was a sequel to Red Dead Revolver.
Rockstar San Diego's working on something.
Yeah. I mean, the game was too much of a phenomenon to not to not get a sequel.
It's along with Crackdown, that's my favorite GTA game.
I also feel like Red Dead's esteem has grown over time.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody it was a phenomenon when it launched too, but like it's showing up on like greatest of all time lists now. You know, a few years with hindsight to look back on it. Edge for one, I think it was on their list.
Came out, yeah.
Might potentially be on IGN's list.
Who knows?
Who knows?
So that definitely works in favor of that game receiving a sequel as well.
Yeah, it's so great. You just wander around and play poker for hours. If you didn't
Well, the
wanna-
poker was no good in that game.
Or shoot,
no,
or
but,
shoot
but it will
things.
be next time around.
Put nuns on the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
The hunting, he's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cougars jumping on your head while you're doing that.
and then the whole Undead Nightmare expansion was
Yeah, it
was
amazing.
great.
Maybe best DLC ever.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
I love
Blood Dragon.
I'm just gonna go home and play Red Dead now.
Yeah.
Do you have an answer, Damon?
Yeah, I had a few sprung to mind. I would love to see it. It's been a few years and a generation since we've had a Burnout game.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And that car crash pornography would look so good.
Yeah.
Bring back Crash Mode.
Crash physics.
I know, yeah. It's just Burnout was so fun.
Yeah, I mean, with these new consoles, you could literally like just do the exploded view
Yeah.
of a
Yeah.
car, just everything.
Yeah, I
It's
would
funny
love
how
to see what they could do.
you don't always know. Like I played dozens and dozens of hours of Burnout 3 Crash Mode, just trying to climb to the top of the leaderboard of every single intersection was like its own little puzzle to figure out.
Yeah.
And like now that's another game that frequently shows up on like greatest of all time lists.
Yeah.
But you didn't necessarily notice when you were in it. Like you just knew it was a great game. Like it was really fun. But it was like it's Burnout 3. Like you don't expect it to turn out to be one of the all-time classics once you have the benefit of time. I have two more. I don't need to elaborate on them, but I want to see another Crimson Skies.
Oh yeah.
wow.
Could
Nice.
really benefit,
Nice.
and I want to see another Odama.
oh, that's awesome! Such a good idea. I love Odama.
You have like Kinect and PlayStation Eye now, and like voice controls and like motion controls are so much more common.
Remind us all, Odama was a voice-controlled pinball game for
With
the
Samurai.
GameCube.
Yeah,
with
it was
Samurai.
it was loosely pinball. So it was one of the very few accessories that used the GameCube microphone that snapped onto your GameCube controller, and then it was a pinball game in the sense that there was a ball bouncing around. But you could control armies on the pinball field by shouting into your microphone, saying, move up, move left, move right. And then they're sort of moving this ball around.
And it worked pretty well.
Well, sort of.
It was
you,
sort
like,
of like
screaming
it was
into
like
your controller.
Yeah, it was almost had more in common with like rugby than it did with pinball. The
Yeah.
big ball looked metallic, but really it was more about
The
where
ball
you
was
were
a
moving
face.
that thing. Yeah, it was.
Deeply, deeply strange game. Not really very good.
I liked it a lot.
Jared likes it.
But I played quite a bit of it until I just got shamed. I just couldn't play anytime my wife was around because I'm just shouting.
Yeah.
I'm shouting into my GameCube controller.
Now
and
you
it's-
have a little baby.
now I have a little baby and I just shout at her.
Anything about a Wii U controller?
Yeah.
Two more, Rainbow Six Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The game that was the first game I got with my Xbox 360, and I scanned my
Imagine
face
how good that face
in
technology
the game,
is
and
now.
my face was like, so I played through the whole game with this crazy looking
What's
face.
the new series that does? Is it NBA Live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That does
they
it?
do that too. Yeah,
Does it turn out very good? I remember like the video coming out and
there's
it showed
some- yeah.
these horrible like sloth from the Goonie like creations.
Was it live or 2K? One of the NBA
yeah,
games.
one of the
Yeah,
NBA
one of the
games,
NBA games.
and of course, Shadow Complex.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Goodness
Tragically,
gracious.
never got a sequel to.
Yeah.
We know it exists.
Chair,
Chair.
like Rockstar San Diego, Chair's been working on something
For, like, ever.
For like 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Next email's from Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Michael from Montreal.
Wants to know.
Michael's in Montreal.
Is he actually from Montreal?
I have no idea.
No, last one was from Dennis. Was from Montreal.
That's what they call a callback.
Yeah.
Michael he's not from anywhere. He's just a wanderer.
He's a mysterious drifter.
He's a citizen of the world.
Michael's
with a shady
been dead
past.
for 10 years.
It's Weekend at Bernie's with Michael. He's just sending emails to GameScoop with his arms are on strings. We have fun.
So Michael says, so Game Freak released some statement recently about future Pokemon plans, something about a better cloud service. And naturally, in the comments section, a lot of people were posting about how Game Freak and Nintendo would make a ton of money if a giant HD Pokemon game was made on Wii U or the upcoming NX. A lot of
not what I
people
was
mentioned how they wanted to have all the current Pokemon worlds in it. I, however, think a lot of people are being unrealistic. People on the internet being unrealistic?
You don't say.
Why the franchise has done so well is arguably because it is handheld. It's one of those pick up and play kind of games. I think a lot less people would get it if it were on a home console.
Pokemon Snap begs to differ, son.
So we're already looking at less of a profit, even if the price of an HD game is 1.5 that of a 3DS game.
Yeah.
Now add in the high standard people have for graphics, nowadays on consoles, that would end up having to put a much higher budget behind the game. So we're looking at a Pokemon game that'll cost way more to make and have less of an audience. That just doesn't make sense. Add in the wish people have of a giant Pokemon world with all the current countries in it, we're looking at a major flop. I may just be a pessimist, but what do you guys think? Did I kind of hit it on the head? Is there a chance this could be successful?
He makes a lot of good points.
I think Michael's, you're absolutely right.
Michael.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more we need to say.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
You nailed it. Right on the head.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised-
we would agree that not even Pokemon HD MMO would save the Wii U.
Well, even if it could, I think there's absolutely a place for a Pokemon HD MMO on a home console. I think you can make that work.
Yeah.
I don't think the Wii U is the place because I think the moment they said the words NX and dedicated gaming platform, the Wii U was dead.
Yep.
I mean,
100% agree.
it's got a great game on it. I'm playing right now. But third pillar, I've heard that before.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo was between a rock and a hard place, right? Like, Wii U wasn't selling, they needed to do something, and they effectively killed their own console by announcing plans for the next one. I mean, everybody that owns a Wii U will probably buy an HD Pokemon on it. I don't think it'll save the console, though.
Nope, me neither.
If it's a launch game for the NX, a proper HD Pokemon, full Pokemon game, not a spin-off, not anything like the next Pokemon is there. Yeah, I mean, that's totally a system seller.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'd buy a console to play a Pokemon MMO. That would be amazing. I don't even particularly like Pokemon, but the idea of a
He
Pokemon...
didn't say MMO.
I know, I just want it.
I said MMO.
Oh, you did say it.
Yeah, he said it, and I, more importantly, I want it. I want that game.
Surely if Pokemon did come to consoles, it should be an MMO, right?
Yeah, it's just
the temptation to charge for Master Balls and all the rest of it, and up your drop
the
rate.
microtransactions practically write themselves.
Totally do.
A rare candy's only $4.
Upgrade the size of the number of Pokemon you can store and storage, or like
your stable
to manipulate breeding, like get the breeding, get the stats that you want.
Now, if they do that, I'm not going to buy it though. I mean, they do that, I lose interest
Jared,
immediately.
the money, Jared.
Think of the money. It's Prince money for Nintendo.
I get all of that, which is why I don't make video games for a living, I guess. But I don't want it if it's that. But I do want to buy it as a consumer, purely as a consumer. I want it if I get it on a console and it's a game.
If Game Freak and Nintendo want to make money, they will put a proper Pokemon game on your mobile phone. That's what they'll do. They won't put it on a HD home console.
That's a better point. I mean, the install base is what?
Enormous.
Like a million X.
If the next generation, like real Pokemon game, not some BS Pokemon game, but the next real thing is on iPhone and Android,
Pokemon.
They would make so much money.
And I would cry. I would cry so much, and they would.
You play Dragon Quest V on your phone.
Yeah, but I bought it. I don't think that they.
What if they did? What if the phone? What if you could just buy it on your phone?
But if I could buy it on my phone for I'd pay $40. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't think that. I could be very wrong about this. Nintendo does things their own way, so that they aren't as beholden to investors as some of the smaller companies that produce cell phone games that have to rely on microtransactions. No, if it's a straight game, yes, I buy it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you think Nintendo can make a $40 Pokemon game for a handheld for a mobile?
I think if anybody in the world can, they can. I don't know because nobody's tried in so long and put a serious effort behind it that I don't think we know if it's possible or not.
Oh, that's not true.
So
who else put a real effort, marketing effort behind an expensive cell phone game?
Game of War.
That's a microtransaction.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like actually a company puts marketing muscle behind.
Well, you didn't say marketing muscle. I'm just saying like there are like I think XCOM is $20, and there are proper games.
But
on
ports,
mobile now.
right? Like
that's true. I don't know that there's been a lot of original.
So you're absolutely right about that, and I don't want to come down as disputing you. And I buy those games occasionally. I bought Dragon Quest V on my phone. I bought we can get out. I love them. Go ahead.
Sorry, what was that series with the knight?
Chaos Rings?
No,
there's Infinity Blade.
Infinity Blade, yeah.
And there's Chaos Rings is a good example from Square
that's
Enix.
a good one. You're right.
Square Enix does a lot of porting their Final Fantasy stuff, but they do a lot of stuff on mobile that's actually very decent, like good-sized, chunk-sized games. But getting back to Michael's question real quick before we close out, circling back, you said if a new HD Pokemon came out for a console, you would buy a console for it. Yeah. Does that ring true? Does that still ring true for the Wii U, if the Wii U is that console?
Well, I've already got one now, so it's worth me to answer the question. I bought my Wii U to play Super Mario Maker. One title can certainly drive me out to buy a console.
But knowing now that Nintendo's next console is,
no, I want to play, not if it's because it's going to be on NX as well at that point. Like, unless they come out and overtly say, by the way, this game will never come out on NX. Then
last chance to get your Wii U's. That would be such a mess. That would be a real messed up move.
Yeah. No, you're expecting a Twilight Princess situation then, where it's on both consoles.
Our last email this week comes from Tom in DC.
Hey, Tom. Not
He
Montreal.
says-
Tom in DC is a weird name.
Tom and like Game of Thrones.
I love the work you all do. The show is one of my weekly highlights.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
As a longtime listener, there seems to be two things that are regularly mentioned on the show. The first is that modern AAA video games are extremely complicated and costly to make. The second
Is Star Wars trading cards.
usually involves some discussion of the sometimes poor value in downloadable content packages for games or season passes.
I make both those points. As
These two
always.
are-
Recent father.
These two are clearly linked as game developers and publishers need to make their investment back through downloadable content given the price the games retail for. What would your thoughts be on increasing the price of AAA games? As someone who has spent a lot of time gaming over the years, the price of $60 is only the latest price the industry has settled on. Personally, I would prefer just paying $70 or so for a game and know that there will be no extra charges.
I would pay more for video games right now. I don't know what the analysts would say about how that would affect your purchasing, but I have hoped for more expensive games for a while.
You're
And I would say-
hoping for more
yes,
expensive
I
games.
really wish the price of games would go
So
up.
Explain your reasoning, though.
Simply because I hate buying back-end stuff, and I'd like to see them make more money on the front at the beginning, be able to actually fund. The price of making games is going up, and the price of buying games isn't. That there's a breaking point there that's already kind of been hit.
An extra $10 doesn't guarantee that there will be no back-end stuff. Like if everyone came out and was like, all right, we'll all charge $70 for our game, but we guarantee there will be no DLC, no season passes, no extra content after the fact. I don't think that world exists.
No, I think you're right about that. I think that simply they don't have to sit there and say we absolutely have to have this to make it in the business plan. They come out and say we're going to have a significantly larger chunk of revenue at the beginning, which means we can actually afford to make this thing. You look what happened with, at this point, Metal Gear Solid 5 is selling really well, but has it made its money back yet? It's one of the best games I've played in years, but I'm wondering if it's going to end up doing significant financial damage to the company that produced it. And we're hearing this narrative over and over and over. And yes, I do understand people have less expendable income than they've had in this country in a very long time. Games are proportionally cheaper on inflation, but we also have less money to spend on frivolous things than we did a decade ago. So it's really hard to say exactly what that tipping point is, but I think that it's pretty clear across the board, just looking at the people we encounter in this industry who make games, they need more money.
Yeah.
There's a concept in video game accounting and other fields of ARPU, revenue per user. So when games were $60 and you couldn't sell anybody anything afterwards, your revenue per user was $60. If you sold 1 million units, you made $60 million. Now, thanks to DLC and other things like that, your revenue per user can climb or shrink based on if half of your buyers buy a $30 DLC pack, your revenue per user has gone from $60 to $75. So that's what all the DLC and costume packs and whole myriad options available to you are all about, is how to bump up that ARPU number without ever adjusting the actual $60 price of the game. And that's why you also see costume packs are stupid. They're dumb. They're just dumb. But a certain, let's say they cost you nothing to make, and let's say 1% of your audience will spend that $5, that bumps up your revenue per user by 50 cents. And that's what it's all about, is getting that ARPU number as high as you can.
But there's also another interesting metric called ROI. ROI, return on investment. And I think you're 100%
That's
right.
true.
I think you're 100% right. DLC is a very lucrative
It's got to be cheaper to make than what they're...
You already have the structure. You already have everything built. You're basically just adding more content in the same thing that you've already created with your original effort. So it's not necessarily always predatory, but I don't think that there's a world where DLC doesn't exist because it is just so easy.
Oh no, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Absolutely not. And I don't think it should necessarily have to. I've been buying expansion packs for PC games my whole life. I just would like to see the front end increase so that I could be sure that I was going to get another generation of games. But I don't know if I'm making the best argument here, though. So maybe I should shut up.
No, I think you're right. Video games are a luxury item, and
the better argument is just that games have been, not to say that your argument was poor. In my opinion, another argument towards raising the price of games is just that games have been $60 for a long time. And $60 isn't the same now as it was, over 10 years ago when that price became the standard. We went from 50 to 60, and there was some belly aching, but everyone pretty much got on board. They're like, games are big and complicated, so 60 seems fine.
When did the price
The 360 generation.
video games standardized? Because Whereas we were talking earlier, back in the NES days, the price of games were just all over the place.
Well, it was
some
based
were
on-
30,
it was
some
based
were
on the
50.
cart.
I was looking at in preparation for this, I was looking at a 1988 Sears Wishbook catalog for Christmas, looking at NES games. And prices ranged from $30 in that book to up to about $45 in that particular issue for NES cartridges. So you had that is a 50% increase from the bottom to the top. Now, some of that was the age of the cartridge, some of it was the manufacturer, some of it was, there were all kinds of things factoring in, but like I could run out that year in '88 and buy Punch-Out for $35, or Metroid for $35, or I could buy Kid Nicky Radical Ninja for $45.
Yeah.
Or Bases Loaded, and that's a big.
I mean, it literally cost them more money to manufacture the bigger carts.
So then when we
bigger in
moved
storage space.
2 discs, they all cost the same to manufacture, and we were able to standardize price.
Right. So
Makes a lot of sense.
the game development.
I learned something.
The game development cost still varied, but not
Yeah.
the cost to actually press the
Manufacture,
disc.
yeah.
And that's why, I think I paid $85 or $90 for Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the N64.
Yeah, some of those carts were expensive. Beyond Oasis was an expensive cart.
Resident Evil 2 on the N64 cost a fortune.
Oh, wow.
I remember buying that too.
Should have played that on PlayStation.
It's probably time. I mean, if for no other reason, just to catch up with inflation, games should probably be $70.
It's just having that front-end guaranteed income. I really am worried about the sustainability of producing the art assets alone.
But I think the reason, I really strongly believe that the only reason we haven't seen the price of games climb to $70 is because the revenue per user is already over $70 thanks to things like DLC.
I absolutely agree with you. I think it's
so the game manufacturers aren't really pressing the issue.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we've already gotten to this point that we kind of needed to get to anyway to sustain.
Well, they're
our
worried about
business.
undercutting their market. I mean, anytime you raise prices, you are going to most likely decrease the number of people purchasing.
Yeah, and I mean, if they already have an alternative revenue stream as far as DLC and all that.
I'm just not sure they're making enough for what they're spending. It seems to be too. If I'm an investor right now and I look at a game studio that I can build,
it's terrible business.
I can build $100 million game. I invest $100 million and I'm going to make. I'm fairly certain I'm going to make some money on that, as long as it doesn't go over budget and nothing goes terribly wrong. Or I can take that same $100 million and pay a bunch of iPhone developers $20,000 each to create hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games, one of which I'm pretty sure will be a hit.
Yeah.
And I know I'll make my money back. Which one am I going to spend my money on?
The iPhone games.
As a horrible, evil businessman, yes.
Yeah.
All right, Tom in DC also has our video game 20 questions suggestion this week.
Ooh.
And it is about that time. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Did this game come out before January 1st, 2000?
Yes.
All right.
We go down the line.
Okay. Did this game come out on disc or cartridge?
It would be yes or no question.
Oh, did this game come out on disc?
No.
No. Okay, so we're going back farther. This game come out before January 1st, 1990.
No.
Yeah. So
90s game on a cart.
Okay.
Is this a multi-platform game? It was when it was
No.
originally released.
No.
Yeah. There's also the possibility it's arcade, but that's unlikely.
Not a multi-platform. So we're talking a cart game in the 90s.
Yeah, it's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games.
Maybe by system.
Well, but it's fewer than it would have been.
Yeah.
Is this game a platformer?
No.
Yeah. Is this game associated with Nintendo consoles?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
It's almost certainly Sega, but I do want to burn a question to ask.
Go for
Is
it.
this associated with Sega platforms?
Yes.
Here we go.
You want
Vector Man.
Start by maybe genre or genre or developer.
I mean, I think we all know it's Altered Beast, but is this
That was 80. Actually, that was 89.
was damn it, Jared? Is this? You want to just start going by genres now?
I don't know. There's a few go-to questions we have. We like to ask if the developer is still in business. I don't know how much that would help us in this instance.
Didn't we just look at this paper now?
here's what
Like,
you
was
should
it
do.
89?
We should probably ask if it's first party.
Oh, it's an actual Sega game?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Is this a first-party Sega game?
Published by Sega.
Published by Sega. Let's see.
What the hell does that mean?
That means that somebody else.
I mean, I know what published means, but I don't know what in the context of
There's a lot of things.
90s Genesis.
I'm scared to death now that it is Altered Beast.
Just ask if it's a beat 'em up.
Yeah. Actually,
it-
genre's not a bad one. We've done platformer. Is this game a beat 'em up?
I don't think that's how you would classify it.
Yeah.
Did this game appear in arcades?
No.
Okay,
It's only
that
so
was a
it's-
better question. Yeah, I should ask because for Sega especially.
That's
Jeez.
10.
Great question, Justin.
Thank you.
Halfway there.
All right, we got to start being real,
Okay, so
real stingy,
No,
real stingy with our questions.
We're doing a great job.
Are we?
Yeah.
Sega game.
Sega
in the
game.
90s.
Not-
Published by Sega.
on a cartridge.
Not a beat 'em up. Not a platformer.
on a cartridge. So that
Not published by Sega, yeah.
So Game Gear or Genesis or 32X.
Oh, I didn't even think about Game Gear.
Yeah,
but that does eliminates Sonic the Hedgehog, all of those. All those platformers.
NFL Quarterback Club '94.
The Sega just makes a lot of games. That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, especially back in the '90s.
Okay, maybe we should ask him about the protagonist, if it's human, if it's something like that.
Sure.
Is it a humanoid hedgehog?
No, we know it's not a hedgehog.
I know.
It's Europe.
I'm real nervous.
Okay,
I'll
I'll go and we'll go back around.
Is it?
you go.
You want to ask about the
Yeah,
protagonist?
is it a humanoid protagonist?
Humanoid?
Is it
No.
a human
Ask if
protagonist?
you play as a human.
Are you playing as a human?
No.
Okay.
So okay.
Do you play as a robot?
No.
Okay. Not a human, not a robot.
Okay.
Is
I'm
it-
sorry. I let us down with that one.
It's all right.
Is it a licensed game?
No.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Do you play as an animal?
Yes.
Damn.
Okay.
With the question mark?
Is it Rystar? Is he an animal?
I mean, stretch your interpretation of the word animal to its limits.
All right.
To its limits. Is it like? Does that mean mythical? What
Yeah,
is
what
that?
the hell is
weird.
Yeah,
What
do you
the-
play as like some sort of
Like a unicorn?
like a dragon or star of some kind?
Let's see. Wow. Okay. So it's not. Goodness gracious.
Did Sega publish Rystar?
I don't think they did. If they did, I don't know about it. I don't think they published Raystar. Okay, it's not a beat 'em up. It's not a platformer.
What other genres are there? If
Oh,
you
there's shooters. On Sega, shooters were huge. There's shoot 'em ups, like shmups. There's sports games.
what
there's-
shmups was there?
What schmutz were you play as
Fur.
sort of animal?
Wait, what's sort of animal? No, I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Do
Wasn't a
you,
Sega
do you shoot things in this game? Do you do a lot of shooting in this game?
I don't. I'm not gonna count that one because I don't know if there's shooting in this game. But I can tell you, it's not it's not known for shooting things.
Not known
Are you
for
still gonna count
game,
that as
not
a
known for
question?
shooting.
No,
we
I'm
got
not
a free
gonna
question out of that. Nicely done.
got a free question.
Look at that.
Okay. Ooh,
21
wait.
There may be shooting in the game, but that's not the primary mechanic.
Is it an RPG?
No.
Don't count that.
The Fantasy Star games are all
I didn't even think about
Yeah,
Fantasy
I was
Star.
thinking
I'm running
Fantasy
out of.
That's
I can't
15.
even. What games did Sega even? I'm like out of Sega games.
Oh, they published a lot of games. Think about everything on Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection. Almost all of those were published by them.
Okay.
So everything, Comic Zone, Streets of Rage.
Yeah, but it's not a beat 'em up.
Ultra Beast.
That's what I'm saying. We eliminated beat 'em ups and platformers,
Right.
and I'm like, that's
Maybe fighting games.
Yeah, Sega did make fighting games. That's,
Eternal Champions.
Yeah.
Do you So do you play as multiple people? Can you play as multiple people?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Multiple
Primal
Protagonist.
Rage?
people. is in-
Primal Rage. Is that what you just
I
said?
think it's Primal Rage.
It's totally
Sega
fucking
didn't-
Primal Rage.
Did they publish that?
I think so.
I have no idea.
Okay, it's not a Sega game, but they might have published it.
Should we ask if it's a fighting game?
Because that was published on the Genesis and the 32X.
Also, dinosaur.
Yeah, just ask
Stretch it.
if it has dinosaurs in it.
Does it have dinosaurs in it?
I don't think so.
Oh, we're losing!
I thought we had you.
Oh, yeah. Multiple
Has anyone ever lost?
Is it a fighting game?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, what are we
That's
doing?
18, by the way.
All right. Two questions left.
What are we missing here?
Swing
I
for the
thought for
fences.
sure it was like a. But wait, he did say you play as multiple characters.
Yeah, multiple
Yeah.
That's a
characters.
big hint.
Lost Vikings, did they publish that?
Maybe.
That was like, who did that? That was,
I mean, that's a Blizzard game.
right.
But they
who
would have
published
they
that?
would have had a publisher.
But it's also nowhere near an animal, although Vikings are kind of.
No, those are people. Those are humans. Yeah.
We're in trouble here, guys.
Yeah, we're
questions left.
we're really in trouble here.
Are we? I don't want this to count as a question. Are we screwing up?
Yeah.
We're screwing up real
Yeah.
bad.
Screwing up real bad.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's like Bejeweled.
You guys are missing
a key
the
element.
major Sega games.
Okay,
Wow.
think of a major Sega brand. Sonic,
Can't think of any.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
all the
All I
arcades.
can think of is Spectre Man.
I'm thinking of all the arcade games and Sonic. I'm thinking about well, there's Golden Axe, which you're playing people.
Yeah, but that's a beat 'em up. I thought about
beat
that
'em
too.
up. There's
And it didn't appear in arcades.
it's not on a disc. It's none of the Saturn stuff. Oh, goodness gracious.
Alex Kidd.
It's not a fighting game.
Calibri.
It's not a platform. Not licensed at all.
What other games?
So it's not 7-Up the game.
There's so many games published by Sega, and I'm going to feel so stupid.
All right, let's bring it home.
Oh man,
Bring it
this
on.
is so
Two
bad.
questions.
All right.
David, what's your perfect Sunday?
We're going to feel so silly when this gets
Let's
said.
just burn them. Just burn it all to the ground.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, wait. No, the Buster Brothers are human.
It's not going to be Buster Brothers.
Amazing.
What's like Sega's
It's not
number
Sega
2 thing
anyway.
after Sonic?
There's so many Sega franchises. That's the problem. We
Just
went
go
the
through them
wrong
real
way.
quick.
Okay.
The ones you can think of.
Got it. Okay, so Golden Axe, there's Sonic, there's...
Like a major brand.
I know, I'm just trying here, I'm panicking!
I believe in you.
Ah, Sekiro Shinshiro, help me!
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of
I
any.
was even a Genesis kid growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so was I.
Bring it home.
I'm trying to bring it home, brain's not working. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me?
I mean, if Jared Petty can't carry us on his
No,
back,
I'm just failing.
I don't know.
I'm choking.
Last 2 questions.
All right, last 2 questions. Yeah, this is going really long and I'm late for a meeting.
I'm out.
You don't even have any more
I don't have any
questions?
more questions. Anything?
Is this a puzzle game?
No.
Does your character wear a hat?
Oh, what?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last question.
I said Buster
That was
Brothers.
the one piece
Oh
of
God, I said
information we
Buster
needed.
Brothers, but I meant Bonsai Brothers. Sorry.
It's
Sorry.
Bomberman.
No, he's Hudson.
That's 20 questions.
Yeah, what was it, Dan?
If I told you it's a funky game,
Toe Jam and Earl.
Toe Jam and Earl.
Damn it.
I don't know what genre I'd put that in.
Action.
And I'm sorry,
I think
a worm
just
is
action game.
roguelike?
Yeah, roguelike action game. Yeah.
I feel real
I
stupid.
feel really dumb. But when you said major Sega, it actually threw me off because that trilogy, really, the first game
I mean, there
the
were,
one I remember.
yeah, there were like 3 of them.
Yeah,
made.
the third one was like weirdly racist, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think it was.
We should have asked it. Is it
I remember that.
1991.
Should have asked that hat question.
Yeah. No, I didn't realize. Actually, here's where I'm feeling like it really did. I didn't realize Sega published Toe Jam and Earl. I didn't know that was.
But do you know who developed it?
No.
Johnson Vorsanger Productions.
Oh,
No. I did
Developer
not
of
know
Toe
Sega
Jam.
Oh,
published it.
JVP.
Didn't know who made it.
I'm not sure what it got there.
I wouldn't
Nice
have.
try.
I like
No,
the
I
game and
wouldn't
I
either.
played it, but I've never thought of it as a Sega game.
It's been a long time since.
Since
guys
rock and
lost-
roll.
We
I think
failed.
StarCraft 64 was maybe the last one that.
Wow, I
you
wasn't
guys
here for
didn't
that, I
get
don't
to.
think. I'm sorry we
StarCraft
let you down,
64.
America and the world.
It's okay. That's from Tom and DC.
Sorry, DC.
Tom and-
Sorry, Montreal.
Don't write it again.
Tom and DC.
Sorry, Michael in Montreal or whatever your name is.
I feel real bad. I feel like
Don't
we
feel
let
bad.
everyone down.
Don't feel bad.
Oh, Toe Jam
Try
and
us
Earl.
again
That's
next
kind of a
week.
gimme.
Yeah, well,
Man.
not next week because I'm gonna go get married now.
Yay!
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, it's true. If a lot of you viewers and listeners follow me on social media, you probably know my wedding has been coming up, and now it's here.
Now it's here.
This
Congratulations.
weekend. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. We're super stoked. So the wife and I next week are going to be
Ooh.
taking a few days off. So
Ooh.
no Game Scoop next week. Taking next week off. But I do want to take this opportunity to just thank all of our viewers and listeners for tuning into the show every week. You are the entire reason that this is one of the longest running and I like to think best video game shows in the world. So really, really appreciate all the support you guys have given over the years. So
You're all invited.
Open bar.
no, not all invited. I will see you there though. That's true. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
My name is Damon. This is IGN Game Scoop, and we're out.